Hey everybody, I'm Gracie.
And I'm Ann.
And we are Little Things Big Difference, where you can come to find all of the little things that can make a big difference in your life. So last week we talked about how to have a good week.
Yes.
And so this is the second video of this series. So if you missed the first one, go back and watch that. But today we're going to talk about how to have a good night. And when we were talking about what to share with y'all in this video, we realized that, there's different personalities and things that can help each individual person to have a good night. Like for example, my husband, when he gets home from work, in order for him to have a good night, he just immediately wants to, relax and just kind of reflect on the day and, not really do a whole lot of things after that. And for me, when I get home, in order for me to have a good night, I want there to not be a mess in the corner, or I want there to not be dishes in the sink. So we are aware of the different personalities, but these are 5 things that we have found really helpful for us to have a good night. That we want to share with you guys. So the first one kind of ties in with what I was talking about earlier. But in order for me to have a good night, I like to pick up the clutter and, do the dishes. So for me to be able to relax, I can't have like a lot of things around me that need to get done. So that's one thing that really helps me to have a good night.
Absolutely. I'm the same way. And then another thing that I've noticed is that there are days that worries of the day and things that have happened or things that I'm thinking about in the future happening or wondering about, that those kinds of things can just kind of travel through my mind at night, and it just keeps going over and over and over in my mind. And then when I lay down and try to relax, my brain just can't turn off. And one of the things that I have found that has been really helpful is to have a stack of index cards by my bed. I love some index cards and a pen. And what I have found really helpful is to just begin to write those things down on an index card and then leave them on the bedside table beside my bed. And then in the morning, what I'll do is I'll pick those cards up, and those I use in kind of my meditation in the morning, and I begin to kind of think about how to solve those things with a fresh perspective. Because the reality is, at night, my brain is so worn out, even if I would discover some sort of solution, it would not be as good as it is in the morning. And so just to kind of write those worries down and leave them alone and let your brain rest from those, knowing that you'll pick it back up and you will come up with such, better solutions in the morning when your brain is fresh.
Yeah. Another thing that we find really helpful is to establish a nightly routine. So whatever, helps you to have a good night, a good night's sleep. For instance, you could maybe every night you shower before you go to bed. Well, if you don't shower before you go to bed when you normally do, you might not sleep as well because, it's out of your routine. So something like that, or spending time with your spouse, anything like that that is typical in your nightly routine, just establish that and then make sure that you repeat it every evening so that it's something that you do that's a regular routine.
Yeah. And another thing that I've found that's really helpful is putting good things in your head before you go to bed.
That's good.
So I love to listen to podcasts and things like that. If I listen to a true crime podcast before I go to bed, I'm not going to sleep well that night. So I have found myself getting a better night's sleep if I listen to kind of some calming, relaxing music maybe, or if I read a good book. Even if I read a boring book before bed, that will kind of put my mind in the shutdown mode. So not anything that has a lot of suspense and adventure, but just kind of a good book that you can pick up and read for a while, that your brain it will actually continue to think about it while you are sleeping. And so if you begin to think about something that's high action and high energy, then it's going to be really hard for your brain to kind of shut down. And so watch what you put in your head before you go to bed, and put something good and calming and relaxing in there for your brain to continue to think about.
Yeah. And the 5th thing that we want to share with you is to have a good, healthy meal before you go to bed. I was actually just complaining to Ann that my meal last night was not healthy, and how uncomfortable I was and how it affected my sleep. So if you have a good, healthy meal before you go to bed, it can definitely help you have a good night.
Yes, it can. So if you have some little things that make a big difference in your nightly routine that help you to have a really good night, then let us know in the comments comments. We want to hear what works for you, and that way you can share that with other people that are watching this video as well. And so, like Gracie said earlier, we're in the middle of a series. We've already talked about how to have a good week. Today was how to have a good night, and next week is going to be how to have a good day. So how to start your day off well. So make sure you guys subscribe and tune into that, because we want to continue to hear all of the great ways that you guys set up your week and your night and your day. And if you'd like more little things that make a big difference, you can check us out at our Facebook page or at our Instagram account, which is at The Chapel Online, and we look forward to connecting with you there. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with all the things that are going on here at Little Things Big Difference.